everyone, this is SPITTINFIRE and I'm coming to you with another one. Okay, so we know June 17th was a Curcio hearing, and that hearing was to determine if there was a conflict of interest. Now, it was said that Nicole Blank Becker, okay, who's Robert Sylvester Kelly, aka R. Kelly, defense attorney, was an accomplice to what they call a intimidating witness, okay, on a phone call or whatever. Or if Tom Farinella, or if I'm saying his last name right, excuse me if I'm not, is competent mentally to defend Robert Sylvester Kelly, aka R. Kelly. Now, there is timing for everything. 2 months, less than 2 months before the trial, all this comes out in LGBT month. In 2019, I told you the LGBT was behind all this stuff, and some of you did not even believe me. You thought that gays did not have anything to do with it. It's not about gays. It's about, or bisexual or transgender. It's not about people's sexuality. Okay? It's not. It's the agenda. It's the organization. Not individual gay people and not them just being gay. Believe me, they're all over. They're part of culture now. Okay? It's the agenda. You understand me? I find it very ironic that after all these years of black people supporting the Democratic Party, this is the slap in the face we get. That they set up a black man. This is the slap in the face. A big slap in the face. Now, the LGBT joined the feminist movements. Emily's List, Mute R. Kelly, Me Too, Time's Up, and yeah, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is owned, operated by George Soros and some lesbian women, black women. So, what does that have to do with R. Kelly? Well, it has a lot to do with R. Kelly. Because if you want your agenda, okay, to manifest, and your agenda is to demasculine black men or men in general, so everyone can be the same, not gay, but just have the same opportunities. In other words, you will not be able to say, I'm straight, I'm gay. They want everybody to just be, okay? So that wouldn't be. Now, Nicole Blank Becker is a prosecutor here in Michigan. Impeccable record. And yet, she was sought out and recommended to join the R. Kelly's team. When Judge Vonda was reached out to, she recommended Nicole Blank Becker to join the R. Kelly defense team. And after listening, interviewing, talking, she decided, a prosecutor, Macomb County, Michigan, decided to join the defense in this case. That spoke volume. And on cross-examination, she's a beast. So I find it funny that after all of this, and it was said that she's a beast, and that wait to cross-examination, and you heard me say this many times, as I often told you guys, they listening to us. I know they listening to me. Because you just can't say the things I say, and then all of a sudden these things just happen. You understand? So I always will say, wait till Nicole cross-examine. Now, it's a special attorney to oversee. An attorney that was a prosecutor. Interesting. And then she was going in and out of the courthouse with the girlfriend / turned victim. Interesting. Wow, this is so interesting. Now, let's get this straight now. And I want y'all in the world to know if you should be upset about things, because it doesn't matter if somebody's innocent or guilty. You want their due process to be respected. You want it to be done the right way. Because if they do dirty stuff to us and get away with it and get us to side with them, well, it's going to be an issue. But let Dr. Umar tell you best. This video footage does not belong to Spitting Fire, okay? I will put the link so you can see the entire video in the description below. But pay attention to this video right here.
Our side. Either way the black community goes, we will benefit. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Let's say the black community says R. Kelly needs to go to jail. He's a pedophile and we do not accept pedophilia. The white power structure says good. Black people are willing to let us destroy their own. So then, any black man we want to take down in America who is not guilty of R. Kelly's crimes, we'll just paint them as pedophiles because it's been so sensationalized in the media, and we could take out 24 more prominent black men who are not guilty because we got the black community to align themselves with the same criminal injustice system that's been destroying a community for hundreds of years.
Okay, so now you just seen Dr. Umar explain to you. These are the same things that I was telling you in 2019, 2020, and now 2021. Okay, so now let's move along, okay? So I often told you about John Legend. I've often did a breakdown about John Legend. I did a special karma train about John Legend. If you have missed it, I will make sure I try to put it also in the description below. All right? So that way you will know exactly what I'm talking about when it pertains to John Legend being in the documentary of Surviving R. Kelly. But a lot of people said, okay, so what I got to do with it? I told you how he was connected politically. I told you how he knew State's Attorney Kim Foxx. I told you how he endorsed her. I showed you all these things, okay? It's going to be in the video, okay, in the description below this video, all right? If not, you can go in the video tab and you can search the description or whatever. But I would try to remember. Y'all. I know y'all be getting on me about forgetting to put the links in there, but I will try to remember. However, let's get back to John Legend. So John Legend was in all this mess, okay? He was in all this mess. But let me show you something else he was in, all right? Yeah, you got it. You got it. This person right here. Yep. He's behind that. This is the special breakdown that I was going to give you in the Karma Train, okay? So, not only did John Legend endorse Kim Foxx, okay, who also to be the first prosecutor came out after the docuseries aired and who started all this and all these charges, not only did he know her before the documentary while he was sitting up there inside the documentary and knew all the people in the documentary, but he was also in a documentary, well, with this person over here. Yep. And y'all believed it. Y'all believed that documentary. Now, listen, because everybody's been on this Kwame Brown bandwagon, and I've did some stories myself, but he's telling you the truth about it. You guys did this 2 years ago. Y'all was condemning R. Kelly and everything else, but now the truth coming out, and this is where America need to be mad. Yeah, when they use your own to take down your own. All right? Yes. Yeah, I haven't forgot about that picture over here just because I had John Legend with whoever, Rob Stranger. Yep, that's his name. That is his name, Rob Stranger. Yep, the CEO of Sony. This is the picture that John Legend is taking with him, okay? The CEO of Sony, right? Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. So let's get this straight. Not only did he endorse Kim Foxx, okay? Not only did he know the Obamas, okay? Not only was he in connection with all of this stuff too. Not only did he know Dream Hampton, he didn't even know R. Kelly. Why are you in a documentary and you don't even know the man? Does that make sense? How you gonna tell me about somebody who you believe? You have a right to believe the women, but how you gonna be in a documentary when you don't even know him? That doesn't make sense. Oh, but you know this guy, right? Yeah, right here. You know this guy right here, though. Sony CEO. And who's a heavy endorser of Sony? Yep, right on over here. Start from the very beginning. Mm. Okay, so now we back. Okay, so this is part one of what I'm going to do. All right, this is about part one. Okay, of these videos I'm going to do because I'm doing something totally different. So this right here is the last of the karma train, and I'm doing a little bit of breakdown in it, and then you get me on video. All right, yes, you get Big Mama on video. Okay, so listen, let's talk about some other stuff, right? So let's talk about one more person before we end this. You know who? That woman I cannot stand, okay? Who started all this stuff. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Her, right here. I can't. I can't with her. Because here's why. She was the reason that all this stuff even manifested. In other words, she said in a tweet, right on over here, that Joe Biden, when he was accused of sexual mishap, Joe Biden can be held accountable and electable. Did you hear what I said? I said the Me Too movement, who's supposed to help little girls in the neighborhood and support women's rights, said that the president, or the president-elect at that time, but he's the president of the United States now, can be held accountable and electable because her movement support that candidate and that party. You know, the Democratic Party that I told you guys about. She said he could be held accountable and electable. So you mean to tell me Bill Cosby, Weinstein, and R. Kelly can't be free and held accountable? Really? Really? Speaking of not having no cultural obligation. Oh my God. And yet, she said she's helping little brown girls. Well, let's take a listen to what she said about that. And then let's end it on this note, on what she actually did about it.
Ways that there would be a movement against him that would have started and ended 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Wow.
I think specifically because it's black and brown.
Would have been a movement that was far more
Years. And it's about making sure he doesn't have the resources to do that, but it's also because he symbolizes a greater thing. There are R. Kellys in our neighborhoods, in our communities, in our schools, in our churches. He represents a thing that we can't touch, we can't stop. We cannot get people to pay attention to the plight of sexual violence against black and brown girls. And R. Kelly is a perfect example of it. Do you ways that there would be a movement against him that would have started and ended 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Wow.
I think specifically because it's black and brown.
would have been a movement that was far more
Years. And it's about making sure he doesn't have the resources to do that, but it's also because he symbolizes a greater thing. There are R. Kellys in our neighborhoods, in our communities, in our schools, in our churches. He represents a thing that we can't touch, we can't stop. We cannot get people to pay attention to the plight of sexual violence against black and brown girls. And R. Kelly is a perfect example of it.
Do you
Okay, so you seen me play that twice. There's a lot of R. Kellys in the neighborhood. And we had to stop his resources to make sure that he wouldn't violate these girls to have the resources to continue to do these things. Really? That's a violation of his 14th Amendment. He has a right to life and liberty. He was not convicted. He was not convicted. So you just want to go around taking someone's livelihood on accusations. Really? And then you said little brown and black girls in the neighborhood. You heard her. That's what she said. You, Tarana, Mute R. Kelly, Dream Hampton was in the documentary. Surviving R. Kelly documentary. You, all of you, 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever, all of you, however many of it is. All of you was in the documentary because you helping little black girls in the neighborhood. That's what you said. That's what you said. Finally, at the end. So you see how I exposed all of them. They was in the documentary Surviving R. Kelly. She said she was helping little black girls in the neighborhood. All these women. Mute R. Kelly, Time's Up, Dream Hampton put it together. All these women. John Legend did not even know R. Kelly. All these women. As a matter of fact, it was also said that Dream Hampton asked Dave Chappelle to be in the documentary, and he said no, because I don't know R. Kelly. That was too much like right for John Legend to say that. That's why Beyonce and Jay-Z did not join the documentary. You know what I mean? Not that they didn't know him, they just weren't going to be a part of that foolery. But the world took it. You guys took it. You guys let them hang him. Because he was charged with something years ago and got acquitted, you guys gave him your men. That's what you did. Because if they really was helping little black girls in the neighborhood, they wouldn't have been in a documentary with this motherfucker and this one over here and this one up here, who all was charged with a sexual mishap. All of them. Because at the end of the day, all these ones that was with R. Kelly signed NDAs, got hundreds of thousands of dollars, went on shopping sprees, left, came back, all that. Y'all miss all that shit. Y'all didn't hear all of that. But then there was one girl who did what she was supposed to do. She was assaulted, drugged. She went to the police immediately, called her mama. They went to the hospital. Rape kit was done. Diagnosis was in that there was trauma. And she identified who her rapist was. And he pled guilty to a lesser charge. A lesser charge. Yeah. We finishing up.
Donkey of the Day for Wednesday, January 9th goes to Robert Kelly. You know, I, Charlamagne the God, have given Donkey of the Day to R. Kelly several times over the years. And though I have not seen the Surviving R. Kelly documentary and probably won't watch it because I don't want that in my spirit, I simply don't have to watch it to know that the pied pedophile is a sick individual. Okay, there's really nothing more I can say because I would just be repeating a bunch of talking points that I have stated over the years. Even, you know, if you don't believe the survivors that were on this documentary, you have to believe the now infamous, legendary, for all the wrong reasons, sex tape, which allegedly features a man many say is R. Kelly. I know it's R. Kelly, but I have to say allegedly because he's threatened to sue me a couple of times before. But whatever, all right? For all those of a certain age who have seen the sex tape, that should have been enough. All right, if that wasn't enough, marrying Aaliyah when she was 15 and writing a song for her called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. And the fact he calls himself the Pied Piper. If you don't know the story of the Pied Piper, he's a man whose career was that of a rat catcher. And he was hired by a town to lure rats away with his magic pipe, with music. All right, when the citizens of the town refused to pay for this service, he retaliated by using his magic pipe on the town's children, leading them away, never to be seen again. The Pied Piper was a man who used music to manipulate kids, take them away from their parents, never to be seen again. I've been calling R. Kelly out about that for years, but now when you see parents actually looking for their kids because he's lured them away, then you realize how sick it is for that man to take on that moniker. Now, people ask me, why did I do the Surviving R. Kelly documentary, and especially in light of the fact that I've been arrested and exonerated for criminal sexual conduct before. Listen, my motto is simple. Listen to all women. All women deserve to be heard, but believe all proof. Simple. And when it comes to R. Kelly, it's a lot of proof. And when it comes to any rape, sexual assault allegation, why wouldn't I speak out? Just because I'm not guilty in my situation doesn't mean that all women are lying. That's not accurate. I'm a father of 3 black girls, so anything I can do to make the world a better place for them and young girls like them, I'm going to do. And the number one change starts with myself. So the same way I hold myself accountable for how we treat our women, I'm damn sure going to continue to hold other men accountable too. So I have zero problem speaking out against R. Kelly. And I've been doing radio for 20 years. And even though I've said all these things about the pied pedophile before, even though I've consistently spoken out against him, clowned him for sleeping with underage girls, I still have been a part of a system that enabled R. Kelly, and that system is radio. Even though...
Two things. One, I brought a future aid for good talks. And do you want me down there?
Well, wherever you want to set up, because apparently he's just found not guilty.
I'll have a statement on Robert's behalf. Now, Robert has said all along that he believed in our system and he believes in God, and that when all the facts came out in court, he would be cleared of these terrible charges. He did not expect that it would take 6.5 years. This has been a terrible ordeal for him and his family, and at this point, all he wants to do is move forward and try to put it behind him.
A fourth generation tape that was filled with all sorts of video noise where you couldn't identify, in my opinion, anybody. That's my view of the tape.
There's an idea out there that because he sat in that courtroom stoic and he didn't show emotion and he didn't show any kind of concern, and I heard that said about him, sitting next to him, because I did every day, if you recall, I sat next to him every day of this trial and listened to him and talked to him. He was a very caring and concerned person. He just knew that every move that he made was going to be criticized, every move that he made was going to be watched, every move that he made was going to certainly come out in a newspaper or on television, and so his way of dealing with it was to be stoic.
Have been a part of.
Pushing up right now.